Heidi Hody, neighbors. That's right, I said the word. You know which word I'm talking about. It's been a long, long time, folks, and you're overdue for a review of the portfolio. In fact, I'm going to be including a little bit extra today. You see this dollar amount, it's a little hefty, right? What am I doing? I'm including my IRA in this. You want to know why? I'm going to show you that today. My Roth IRA, because I just made my annual contribution not too long ago, just actually it was this week. So I'm going to include that here in this video so you can see kind of where I'm going with the retirement strategy, how it differs from my just normal investment brokerage account strategy. So we'll see what that looks like. I don't know, this air needs to get out of here, Schwab. You're playing games. So let's get cracking. We got a lot to get into, obviously. A lot has changed in the several, it's been 2 months at this point since we've done a little bit of a recap here. So let's see where we're at, okay? First, we are going to start off with our individual. You see, that's the total value, but if you exclude that, we get into the individual, and it's definitely got a lot more value than the last time you saw it. Where does that put us at? Well, hey, look, $156,854 in market value. Holy smokes, that is looking, some have said, delicious. Not like a red delicious apple. I trust you right there. Trust me on this one. It's one of the worst apples. They call it a red delicious. The texture's not great. The flavor's not great. Give me a pink lady any day. Give me Honey Crisp any day. Obviously way better. Cosmic Crisp, rare to find, way better. Look, I'm getting a little crazy. Let's not get into the apple breeding theory, okay, and how the Cosmic Crisp existed. How does it come to play? Well, you mix the Enterprise apple, you mix it with none other than the Honey Crisp, you get the Cosmic Crisp. Brand new sensation. 4 years ago, brand new apple. Hope you love it. Anyways, genetically modified organisms, they're great for you. So, anyways, we've grown this quite a lot here in the last several months. I think last time we saw it was probably in the 140s. So obviously a fantastic December, great start to the year for us. Already, you see today we had a good day too. So let's get into the positions. A lot of them are going to be the same. You will see some changes though, and I do want to mention that. So we start off with something that it's never changing. It never will change. It's going to be there forever. It's going to be Apple. Apple, we got a 50.55 shares. Again, this one's going to stay consistent. It's a massive piece of the portfolio already at $9,800. You see that value is shrinking a little bit, and we'll see why coming up. We've had some other investments performing a lot better. But where it's at, Apple, I'm pretty happy with Apple around that 6 to 10 range. Obviously, it's shrunk from where it was at, probably closer to 8%, even if you look a few months back. Delish. Today, folks, Body Armor Light Strawberry Banana. That's the flavor of the day. And yes, light. I know it's light, so it will probably give me some sort of cancer in the future, but I've got it, so it's all right. I don't know. Okay, I rephrase. Anyways, about $10,000 they're worth of Apple. Pretty good. AbbVie Incorporated, 11.54 share, or 50. Sound like Joe Biden right now. A lot more competent though. So here, this position, has been here basically since the beginning of the portfolio if you followed for a while, and we're doing pretty well. I forgot to mention with Apple, we're up 174%, by the way. That's why we're not really buying a ton more of Apple. We're up $6,200 in that position alone. AbbVie up $637 or 50%. So really great performance here on this one. Happy to have it. Arbor Realty Trust, this one earns a massive dividend. We're talking about a yield over 12%. And we've seen some share price growth here too. So 228 shares. We'll talk more about that one here in the dividend video that'll come at the end of the month. That's where we talk about all the dividends we received in the end of the month. Those usually get more traction than these anyways. So, anyways, with with Arbor Realty, what are we doing? Well, first off, massive dividend. Also, I'm up 12% on the shares alone, $350. So we've got share price. We've also got, fat dividends with reinvestment. We always reinvest. So this position's growing quite a bit. Every single quarter we get paid out, we reinvest. AMD, this one's obviously been a beauty. We definitely bolstered this one quite a bit last year. We've got 17 shares now. Again, it's not a massive position. It's about $3,000 in market value, but our cost per share is incredible. $85 per share. We bought a lot of this cheap, and now we're up over 104%, $1,500 in gain there. So that position's grown quite a bit from where it was. It's a pretty small position. Amazon, still love this one. Be happy to add more, but it kind of took off like I told you it would. I believe in the last video I definitely mentioned I wanted to buy more. I just didn't when it was down in the 120s. It just was way cheap in the one teens even. So I think that's the thing that people say, one teens. Anyways, we got 16, just over 16 shares here. We're up pretty big, 32%. It's about a $2,500 position, up $618. So we're happy with that position. Gonna hold that one forever. Amazon's just gonna continue to dominate 10 years from now. So I'm gonna be holding it for 10 years. Apple Hospitality, another fat dividend payer. I shouldn't be saying fat. I'm talking about PHAT. Just so you guys don't get too upset. I'm just kidding. I'm not. I'm talking about the FAT. Anyways, it's that test you take to get into college, I'm pretty sure. 100. What did I just do? You son of a gun. Sorry, I sorted by quantity by double clicking. I apologize. So 118.8 shares. Pays dividend every month. 8 cents per share. So this position just continues to grow every month. I buy several shares every month due to dividend reinvestment. We're also up in share price, about 20%. Pretty nice there, too. So $323, about a $2,000 position. ARI, another dividend payer. A lot of these REITs that I have are starting with the letter A, apparently. 207 shares here, 207 and a half. Don't really talk about the half too much, but $2,500 position, by the way. A little bit of growth here in terms of share price, 4%. We're relatively break even in terms of share price, but this one does also show us a fantastic 12% yield. We reinvest that one, and it's very nice. Every quarter we get a big old dividend. See, I changed my words. I'm already adjusting. Bank of America, following them. I'm pretty happy to have Bank of America. We bought it pretty cheap when it was under $30. A lot of our shares at least. So we're happy that we lowered that average cost. 50 shares now. About a $1,600 position. Up about 6%, $100. I mean, it's one that I plan on. That one's not going anywhere. I plan on holding it for a while. Then, we're going to get into Citigroup, another financial company. Didn't have a lot. That's why I kind of really started building up Bank of America and Citi. So we've got 25 shares there. It's about a $1,300 position. Nothing crazy. It's a pretty small position in the grand scheme of the portfolio. We are up there a little bit, though, about 10%. Just about, so pretty okay. Carnival Cruise Lines, we've held this one for a while. We've really adopted this. We intentionally got up to 100 shares so we could start selling some covered calls. Covered call strategy, it's been working for me decently. What I'm doing now is basically selling 1 week till expiration, calls that are out of the money by approximately, I'd say at least $1 typically. In that case, I usually am every week picking up $15 to $20 just in that income I receive from selling that covered call. Sometimes 10 to 15, I guess, depends on where the volatility's at. So that's good to see. And then we still hold the shares, and we're up nicely on the shares, about 40% up on the shares, because we're in at $11 a share. So $1,600 position there, by the way. And you see we've got this covered call. This one actually we bought 2 weeks out because it was the value was definitely there. So we sold that one for a decent amount. Costco, love to have Costco. 3 shares here of Costco. This one just, I wish I had more, just that share price. I just wish share price was a little bit lesser. We get into this time frame, and I think this is around where Costco would announce a split. I would presume we're going to be seeing a 1-for-4 split coming up within the next several months. That's my opinion of the matter. Just as where the share price is at. So just be on the lookout. They may wait and do something like maybe wait until it gets $800 and then do 1 for 5, something of that nature. But I believe they're going to split this year for sure. Anyways, We're up about 56%, so it's been nice. But again, it's a $2,000 position, but that's 3 shares only. It's just so large of a share count. Cisco Systems. So Cisco, where are we at with Cisco? Well, hey, look at that one. That one, 18.81 shares, very boring stock. Only about $1,000 in the position. It's a tiny position, up about 17%. It's been all right. You see, we do have this call here for symbol DD, DuPont. Mm. Des Nemours Incorporated. Here's what we saw yesterday as of recording this. The stock dropped 13%. I saw an opportunity, so I bought a call option 1 month out of expiration, $2 out of the money. I think we're going to get to a point where this is going to be a profitable trade. If it's not, it's all right. Looking to take a little bit of extra risk now and then, and look for freebie opportunities. That one seemed pretty free to me, based off historical trends. So then we have Disney, still a piece of crap, by the way, since the last time. 30.1 shares, about $2,900 in this one. But hey, we're down 20%, down $698. It's been terrible. Yeah, it's just been a rough one. It's been trash. Hopefully we can get some recovery eventually. Good grief. Domino's Pizza, 4 shares. Again, a massive share price at $400, so it puts us at $1,700 in the position, up $195 or 13%. Pretty good. Ford. Um, Usually we have these 100 shares, be decent to sell some covered calls here, but again, the premiums for Ford aren't great. It's just not a very historically volatile stock. Therefore, the premiums don't have a lot of vega built in. They're just not worth a lot of money, so selling the covered calls aren't really worth it. It's good to see that we're up in this one, though. 165 shares, about $1,800 here. We are up about 20%, and mainly just because we're in at $9.41 a share. Really lucky there. Happy to have a good dividend over 5%. So we're happy to have Ford Motor for the long term. Gilead Sciences, 15.89 shares here. We got another biotech here. It's only about a $1,200 position, so pretty small. We're up 26%, $260. Nothing crazy. Gladstone Capital, 102 shares here. Only about $1,100 here, so really that's kind of crazy. Zero movement today, not a single penny movement. That's kind of wild to look at. So anyways, we're up pretty nicely here. 15.35%, does pay a 9% dividend, and we're up in terms of share price. So happy to have that one. Just recently over 100 shares because of that dividend reinvestment that takes place. Google actually had a really good day today, by the way. 11.18 shares. Wish this position was larger. I picked up some shares when they were cheaper. I really do. This thing was at $100 just about 4 months ago. About a $1,700 position. We are up $589 or 53%. So really we're up big on this one because we bought most of our shares around that price. We just wish we could buy more. We're in at $98 a share. So we just want more. Home Depot. Another pretty small position here at 3 shares, a little bit over 3. $1,000, up 32% or $266. Pretty good. Just not a big position. HP, this is HPQ, not HP Enterprises, HPE. 31.47 shares. Been a nice steady one. Small position again. Less than $1,000. It's pretty small. That's what she said. 12% upward movement. And a $100 gain there, so it's okay. Hercules Capital, another great dividend payer, by the way. But I've also seen some growth in share price, right? These REITs were incredibly cheap last year, and I really loaded the boat on them. These REITs were trading incredibly cheap. And I think this year, when we see rates start to decline a little bit, the pressure is going to lighten up from these REITs, and you're going to see share price growth, and that's what we've already seen so far. So I'm glad that the strategy is working out for me. So 116 shares, about $2,000 position. Now we are up 14% in share price. Again, pays over 9%. Love to see it. IBM had a fantastic day today after a great earnings. 7.37 shares. It's only about $1,400 position though. Not a massive position. We are up 50% here. since we're in pretty cheap on this one, about $125 a share. So happy to see that. Intel, on the other hand, had a horrible day because of their earnings that they just announced in the after hours session here. Down 9% after hours already, kind of crazy. 16.83 shares, down $93 or 11%. It's not great. I mean, it's just not great. It's a tiny position. Um, we really bounced back, though, I will say that. I mean, this thing was down several hundreds of dollars not a few months ago, so we're happy to see where we're at right now. I don't know what I just pressed. I pressed the space bar accidentally. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, that's fine. We get into iRobot here. Let me get this dog out of the window so he doesn't start yapping. Go on, dude. Go on. He's out of the window. iRobot's been an absolute piece of crap. You know, I bought this as an arbitrage play. You know, not necessarily working out for us here, just because we just got news that potentially the EU might block the purchase from Amazon, and the stock has plummeted. I was literally up on this position not too long ago, because you see I'm up at $36 a share. The acquisition was going to be for $54 a share, $52, something around there, and I just got absolutely screwed. The EU can literally lick the underneath of my scrotum. That's what I'm telling you. Iron Mountain, 62 shares here. This one's been in here forever. You know, this one's been in the portfolio for a long time. Oh, dog he's laying down now. We're good. Anyways, we're up $2,146 here. $4,000 position. That means we've doubled our money. Yeah, that's right, up 100%. That's quite incredible. This position's been fantastic. Wish I bought more back in the day, but that's okay. Coca-Cola, 23.6 shares, up around $75, 5%, very boring. Kohl's, this one's bounced back quite a bit too, 96.7 shares. Still happy to hold this for the long term. We are down a little bit, 1%, $46. Lockheed Martin, been taking kind of a dump here too. 2 shares only, tiny position at $800. Just felt like I needed it for the diversity. Turns out apparently I didn't, because I'm down $61 or 7%. Main Street Capital, another one of these lovely monthly dividend payers, 49.9 shares here. We are up in terms of share price 29% or $500. It's about a $2,200 position. Now, Meta, this is why we've seen Apple shrink a little bit in terms of percentage. Meta has been dominating. Earlier, I gave you a price target from Meta for the end of 2024 at $400. I was 100% wrong. They're already at $391. I knew there was a lot of upside potential here with Meta, and I'll be holding on, considering taking a little profit on a couple of these shares. But man, there's nothing but positive momentum right now. I just don't think I can do it. We are up massively on Meta, 111% or $6,600. So happy to have that one in the portfolio. Microsoft, happy to have that one as well, obviously, too. 11.4 shares here, about $4,600 position. We're up massively, 129% or $2,597. Pretty big. Micron, 10.1 shares here. We're up big on this one as well. We're up 91%, so nearly double the money there. Only $800 position though, kind of small. Neo, you know we've had this one basically for eternity. 25 shares only though. We saved those from when we bought this at $1.53 a share, so we're up still massively. A lot less massively than we were before. So hate to see that. We did just recently buy a call for Neo, as well, a $6.50 call for Feb 16th. I think it's going to be over that price. I think we're going to make profit on this trade. So hey, Nvidia, 6 shares here, about a $3,600 position. We're up big. You know, we're up 700% on this one. It's massive. Nvidia's an absolute beast. New York Community Bank, 74.41 shares, another financial we've had for a long time. Small position, though, at $750. We're down $10 or 1%, nothing crazy. O, the Realty Income Company, symbol O, not just saying O like OH, but 57.92 shares, monthly dividend payer. It's been a piece of garbage in terms of stock performance, down 5.7%. You stink. You're the one REIT that's really letting me down right now. So you hate to see that. So, anyways, we're down a little bit on that one, about a $3,200 position. Then we have OHI, another REIT, kind of letting me down here, 94.4 shares. This one doesn't let me down as much because it yields over 9%. Um, but we are down just slightly, about 1.65% or $45. Penn Entertainment, this one's also a piece of garbage. Holding this one, I think there's a lot of room to grow here with ESPN Bet. I think there's a lot of room in the gambling space. Just don't know why the share price hasn't really reacted. 30 shares, um, about a $700 position. We're down 32%. I mean, what can I say? It's a bad investment by me. Um, Plug Power, 40 shares here of Plug. This one's also terrible, down 62%, the worst percentage loss there. It's a tiny position at $100, but kind of annoying. This one's been an absolute piece of junk. Um, Prospect Capital, 335 shares. This one also pays monthly. You know it, 6 cents per share per month. This one reinvests for over 3 shares every single month at this point. And obviously that snowball grows consistently every time. We're down about 8% in the share price, about $183. Obviously we've made up for that in terms of dividends by far, but still. We'd like to see that share price kind of boom back a little bit here too. But while it's cheap and the reinvestment happens, I get more shares, more bang for my buck. Qualcomm, 9.22 shares here. Recently bought some extra Qualcomm, about a $1,300 position, um, up about $376 or 36%. Rhythm Capital, another one of my REITs, 194 shares here, about a $2,000 position, up $322, yields over 9%, so we're happy to have both of those. Starbucks, 10.33 shares. Small position again, less than 1,000. A lot of these small positions could work on consolidation potentially. Some may say it's possible that I do that. But we're up $145, 17%. Nothing crazy at all. Charles Schwab here. We got 17.29 shares of Charles Schwab, up $131 or 14%. We'll take it. Stitch Fix, 110 shares here. Utter piece of garbage. 57% downward movement there. $482 in the red. It's a piece of junk. Again, I just hope for an acquisition on this. Something that can make me, back my, my $7.67 a share. So we'll see. Shopify, this one's been an absolute beast lately. An absolute beast. 40 shares here of Shopify. Recently took some profit on this one too, I will say that, because it reached a massive share price, over $3,200 in this position. I'm up $1,795 or 126%. It's massive. Big W. Snapchat, we're also up massively in Snapchat. Look, it was an accidental purchase that turned into a massive W for me. 200 shares of Snapchat. We are up 49% or $1,000. We do have 2 covered calls here that we sold. Obviously, we got the 200 shares. We're going to sell the covered calls. These basically every week. Every week or every 2 weeks, I'm getting $30 to $50 just because the volatility of Snapchat means those prices of the premiums are a little bit higher. So we're happy to see it. Stanley Black & Decker, the most boring company of all time. 10.48 shares there, up 50. Oh, wow, that was wild. Up $57. Target Corp, 12.48 shares here. About a $1,700 position. It's been okay for me, up 19% or $293. Pretty consistent, nothing crazy. Tapestry, another one that's been pretty consistent. Has had some good performance. 31.6 shares here, up $507 or 72%. We love to see that. It's just a pretty small position again, like I say a lot. Speaking of small, Tesla took a hammering today. We got 2.3 shares of Tesla, down 12%. We're pretty well break even with Tesla, like right at the price point there. We're in at 182.47. It's at 182.76. So that's just kind of a tracking position. It's not really there for a whole lot since it's only worth $420. So we'll see what it turns into. Texas Roadhouse, 10.1 shares. We are up on this one, 13.96% or $153. So happy to have that one for just $1,000 position. Vici, 54 Shares of Vici. We are up a little bit here, about 4%. Not great. 5% yield is nice, but, not been a great performer in terms of share price. Now, Walmart, man, this thing is an absolute beast. It's an absolute unit. No longer our largest position because Meta has taken that. 64.9 shares. This one I'm just happy to hold for eternity because it's Walmart. I'm also up 51% or $3,500, so that's pretty big. Happy to have Walmart. I'll have that thing for a long time. It's a good rock to the portfolio. We get into the ETFs. I'm not really going to go into, you know, percentage gain or loss on these ones. It's not really worth it. Just so you know, we'll go into the Wisdom Tree US Small Cap ETF, 21.5 there. This iShares Core S&P 500 ETF, 2 shares, about $1,000. JEPI, you know that one. That one we do for the monthly income. 49.47 shares here, about a $2,700 position. Pretty good there. We got that 49.4 shares. JPQ is very similar. That JP Morgan Nasdaq Premium Income ETF. The other one's more focused on the S&P 500. Anyways, for JPQ, we've got 27.75. It's about $1,400 on that position. KBWD pays a nice monthly dividend, over 10%. 113 shares here, about $1,700. And KBWY, 83.2 shares, about $1,500. MGC, the Vanguard Mega Cap ETF, 7 shares here, just over 7, $174 per share. $174 right now, so it's about a $1,200 position. QILD, again, pays a nice divvy. Yes, it does. So 66 shares of QILD at about $1,100. SCHD, our largest ETF position, 47.3 shares there, at about $3,600. SCHX, been adding to this one lately. 28 shares here, this one, $1,600 on the Schwab US Large Cap ETF. SPHD is going to be the Invesco S&P 500 High Dividend Low Volatility ETF. Pretty boring, 49 shares there, about a $2,000 position. SPYG, 21 shares at about $1,400. VBR, the Vanguard Small Cap Value ETF. I saw this one because I thought there'd be some value plays in small cap this year. I really think there are. 6 shares here of this one at about $1,000, so nothing crazy. VFH, 12.37 shares, about a $1,500 position. VYM, 17.64 shares at about $2,000. And XYLD, another one of those monthly dividends ETFs here, 27.28 at about $1,000 a share, or at $1,000 total in the position. Then we have a couple CDs, as you know and love. This Schwab at 5.3%, maturing in August, and then I've got one maturing in June. This Truist Bank 5.3%. Was happy to see those 5.3%. You don't see them anymore. So hey, glad I took advantage. And then $2,000 in the Schwab Money Market Fund. So that's the portfolio here. We're up massively. Happy to see it. Let's get into the Roth. I'll show you kind of what we did with that extra money. And then next time we'll just bring up just the main account. So anyways, what did we do with it? Well, hey, we made some purchases. So Apple, it's making up about 9% of the portfolio. Apple is. So we got about $43,000 in the Roth. So happy to see that one. It's going to continue to grow. We're going to do great things for the Roth. Apple, you love to see it. So we're up pretty big on the Apple position already. ABR, Arbor Realty, we recently purchased some more of this, and that's for that dividend income. We're up in terms of share price too. 129 shares there of ABR. Ford, purchased a little bit more Ford here in this one. 50 shares now owned a Ford. That one's going to be a great dividend long-term play. Main Street Capital, 30 shares here. You've seen that one obviously too. 30 shares of that one. Pretty nice to see. Microsoft, obviously one of the larger positions here. I think it's actually the largest position in terms of equities. 11.16 shares there. We bought a little bit of Realty Income. We've got 40.43 shares now. Again, we want to build that snowball for this one and dividend. We actually purchased 200 shares of Prospect Capital in this one. Thought the share price was cheap. I bought 200 shares. Okay, I did it. I'm going to build the snowball in the Roth as well. Then in terms of ETFs, not much change here. ITOT, 30.65, JEPI, 56 shares, QQQ, 10 shares, SCHD, we bought a little bit more SCHD. Now we've got 47 shares. I think we bought 10 more shares, I believe. Or like 13 maybe. I got $1,000 worth is what I'm trying to say. SPY 10.1 shares there. SPYD 41.03. VIG 13.37, and then VYM at 17.82. $2,000 and a 5.1% CD from Simmons Bank. We did buy that too. We bought this CD at 5.1%. We'll take it. It's only a 3-month, so nothing crazy. And then from there, we'll be putting it into equities most likely. And then $1,000 in the money market fund, which we purchased as well, with some of that $7,000. So about 3,000 went into this money market / fixed income category, so nothing crazy. But hey, I wanted to show you because it's worth showing. So with that said, that's what I got here for you. Again, we look at these accounts, and if we include the Roth and everything, $5,700 expected in terms of income here. And we look at just the main individual account and our joint one we have set up. Love to see it. So hey, I got that. That's what I got for you, folks. And let me know anything in the comments you need to see. I hope you have a great one. I didn't hit the wrong button again. You did. You hit the Windows key. I didn't hit it.